Hey, what's going on, Real? Happy New Year, 2025, man. Coach Key, Real Coaching Podcast. Today we have another episode. We got my man Backyard Athletics here, man. Some of you may know him from being behind the camera, catching a lot of great moments in youth football, high school football. He really brought the game to life, man. He really brought a lot of excitement to the game. Before we start, Backyard, do you have anything you want to tell the camera before we start?
How's it going, man? Hey, I appreciate you having me, Coach, man. It's been a crazy year this past year, and today's New Year's.
Yes, sir.
So I'm looking forward to a big 2025, especially for the both of us.
Yes, sir.
In this podcast and coaching, and with Backyard Athletics, man. It's a big year to come.
Man, let's do it. So the first question, I got a lot of questions I want to ask, but the first question is, how did Backyard start? What made you want to create Backyard Athletics, and what is it? We may be talking to some people that really don't know what it is, and you blew up tremendously. So can you talk to the people about Backyard Athletics?
For sure, yeah. So basically with Backyard, honestly, at first I started it to become a league. Okay. So I was going to make it a league because, I used to coach. I have teams that played at different parks, but I didn't like how it was ran.
Right.
So I thought I could do it better and basically create a league with the name Backyard. And with the name, honestly, it truly holds to me, everything starts in the backyard.
Right.
And that goes for all sports, not even just football, football, baseball, basketball. Every kid, at least during my age, used to grow up playing football or any sport outside in the backyard, and that's where the true talent comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows when they make it to the pros, hey, they made it, they become a Hall of Famer, but it all starts in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really where I created the name, and honestly, just by going through social media, I kind of just got different ideas, and it started off by doing little interviews and trying to just add a different twist to the highlights.
Right.
A lot of people like to just post highlights, and I wanted to be different. So I was like, you know what? Let me add, hey, what's your favorite pregame hype song? To kind of then put the song in the background of the highlights. And then, for instance, they had that trend oh, what's your favorite color? Blur. But they used to just post a video. So I was like, wow, what if I just asked the kid, be like, hey, yo, number 3, what's your favorite color? And then to make it more personal, more different. And then those videos started to blow up. So little by little, I kind of just see what's out there and just add my own little twist to it.
Mm-hmm. So if you had to guess, but if you had to say, what would be your favorite video? What do you think? What video you think? Okay, well, this is what put Backyard on the map. Wow, this video did numbers, and this is really has gotten my name out there to the world.
Honestly, it'll probably be that South Florida flavor. The South Florida, these kids dancing, man, these kids having fun. That has to be the best part about it. All these kids, they see me at the parks, they want to get posted on the story, they want to get their highlights done, and a lot of them just want to do some little dances, and then you have that South Florida beat to it. There's nothing else. There's even a team down south in Homestead, they call it the Jack Boys and the Steelers. A lot of those kids, man, they're hilarious, man. They'll make their own beats to dance to and stuff, and that's the true definition of being from South Florida.
I agree. And walk us through the process. Starting your own business. Creating a great culture. It's blowing up. People that's not even from Florida know about who you are and what you do. I've seen your videos surface the internet, man, everywhere, man, hitting thousands of numbers, thousands of views, and there may be people out here that's trying to start something and they don't know how to start, and what are some tips you can give them on how to start and what should they do and how did it start from the beginning though, man? Just what was going through your mind?
For sure. No, that's an awesome question. So I even had a parent one day actually come and ask me, she was like, oh, have you thought about photography lessons? And I was like, I thought she was asking for me to take photography. I was like, oh, maybe, I never really thought about it. But she just wanted advice. And so the advice I gave her pretty much was don't think about the money at first. Because I still don't even do anything for money. Everything I do is for free. All right? I get to choose what games I want to go to. I get to choose what players I want to highlight, what teams, what parks, all of that. So basically, what I've been doing the last couple of years is going to as many different parks, as many different teams as I can. Because, I'm not focused on the money. I'm not going just where somebody could pay for me. I'm going to the top games of the week. If a player had a blowout highlight the week before, I'm like, oh wait, I got to check this kid out, and it's just grown over time, little by little. But that's I'll probably be the biggest advice is don't focus on the money, just focus on the vision, focus on building the brand, building the community behind it, and everything else will follow down the line.
That's amazing, man. So you guys just got some great tips right now, man. Listen, anyone in the world that's out here chasing the dream, man, and trying to start a dream, man, just focus on grinding. Focus on the love of the process. Fall in love with the process. Don't worry about the money, man, and it can happen. I remember when Backyard first started, man. He didn't have those numbers. You get what I'm saying? But I saw the growth. I watch his Instagram and I watch all the content that he put up, and consistency is the key. If you trying every day, man, you moving forward every day, you will get what you want. Another thing I want to talk about is, what is your future for this? What are you trying to do with this? What is your goal? What is your ultimate goal for Backyard Athletics?
So with Backyard Athletics, honestly, and this is something I actually thought about the other day, and there's like controversy with it. So deep down, I want to get it to the point where it's always going to be free. Free videos, free content, free highlights, free pictures for everybody. Eventually make money through social media to fund it and travel and highlight kids from all over the U.S.
That's amazing, man.
So that's honestly my biggest goal. Like a part of me is like, all right, I want to spend a month in Texas, highlight the best parks in those areas. Go to Georgia, highlight there. And the reason why it's a controversy is because South Florida, it's home. And so the biggest controversy, honestly, is the fact that South Florida is home.
Right.
And South Florida has honestly some of the best football talent there is.
I agree.
So it's like, how can I leave to go cover other talent when some of the best talent is here in South Florida?
Right.
So that's my dilemma. But over time, hopefully, especially now in the future, especially this past year, I want to grow. It's hard. I'm just one person.
Right.
I can't be everywhere at once.
Right.
But eventually, I want to be able to connect with photographers.
Mm-hmm.
Promote their pictures, photography to the point where like they could use my page for promotion, and then they could also like add highlights and videos that they could send, and I could post on my page, so it could be like more places at once.
I agree.
Type of thing. But for sure, I want to definitely, like, one of my goals is to travel to other places and just make that connection with these communities and these parks and get to know these players on a personal level.
Man, hey, listen, it can happen. That's amazing. So I just want you to know that, man, you really changed the game, man. I mean, as me being a youth football coach, me in the community, I've never had what you're doing growing up. I've never had a camera guy go to different parks and really showcase these kids, put these kids on YouTube, Instagram, and these kids really look forward to that. I have a son that goes home and he watches your stuff on Instagram. He watch it on Facebook. He watch it on YouTube. He go home, put it on TV, and he's really watching himself talk with somebody, watching other teams, and that other kids are learning from that. Other kids want to learn how to play football, want to play football better because of the content that you're putting out in the world. And I feel like we need more positive male role figures like you who are doing these type of things to show kids like it's okay to play sports. It's okay to do this. There's a good things that you can get out of playing sports. All these highlights and stuff like that. It makes kids want to be out there. It makes coaches want to be out there. You're making the game fun. I remember when last year against South Miami Grey Goals, I was at Cannonball, big rival game. That intro that you did, man. I mean, my team running in the middle of the field, South Miami running in the middle of the field. We got our smoke. We yelling and running at each other, man. No one really didn't even know who my number 5 was, Darius, until you put Darius on the map. When those 2 touchdowns Darius scored, now everyone know who Darius is. Everyone want to know who he is, and you put that kid on the map. You put Extreme on the map where, oh wow, Extreme football can be competitive. You got 2 teams going back and back with great elite players. So you're doing a lot of great things for the youth, man. I tip my hat off to you. We really need that. What are some things you think that us coaches can do better? As you've been on the sideline, you're seeing what's going on. What are some things that you think that can help the game?
Honestly, which is true. Going around to all these parks, I see different types of coaching. Different ways of coaching, different ways of disciplining
Mm-hmm.
athlete, different ways of motivating.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll say the biggest thing is to learn how a player understands coaching.
Right.
Because that's one thing I think I valued in when I coached is that I knew how to coach kids separately and differently according to how they took coaching. Because some maybe are good with the screaming and telling them, "Hey, get back in," and then they get refocused. All right, let me get back in the game. Whereas other ones might then shy down and things like this. Some of them might need like put them on practice, put them against a certain player on purpose, just to build that courage, to build that, okay, yes, this is easy. I could do it. So I'll say that for coaches to understand your players and understand that they're different, that one coaching technique isn't for the whole team. Each of these players are different, and if you really grasp that, the whole team in whole will just be a better team.
I agree. I completely agree. So let's talk about your background. I know you have a football background. Where did you play football? How long did you play football? How did you find the love for football? How old were you when you started playing football? And what are your favorite moments of you playing football?
For sure. So basically, I started playing football ever since I was young. My dad, he coached me and my brother ever since I was young. So I started off in Pee Wees. So the same thing that's out there now is when I first started at Kendall Hammocks.
Okay.
I spent my whole, I believe it was like 13 years of youth football there at Kendall Hammocks. And that's kind of where the passion grew. We'll watch football at the house. So, which is another thing that I actually recommend parents and coaches to play football at the house. Play football outside, watch football, every little thing. You could tell the difference between a kid that is coached outside of the field at home and one that's just coached on the field. So I had the opportunity to be coached both ways, and having my dad as a coach as well kind of motivated me and pushed me, and it pushed me in that discipline role to where I always had a coaching mindset as a player.
Right.
So when I played middle linebacker.
Okay.
I was at Kendall Hammocks, then I went to Coral Reef.
Uh-huh.
Coral Reef has ups and downs, but we had definitely great talent. And during my time at Coral Reef, I could definitely say like it was one of the best times as far as like playing football and stuff like that.
What year did you graduate from Coral Reef?
Graduated 2017.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so graduated 2017. When I was at Coral Reef, we had 4 different head coaches.
Oh man.
So, that's always tough.
Right.
Each year a coach left, we literally had transfers that went out. At Coral Reef, you can't recruit, but you can't take transfers in. So if they transferred out and they wanted to transfer back, they couldn't do that.
Right.
And if they transferred out, we couldn't find a replacement.
Right.
So we always had to work with what we got. And honestly, like a coach that I had there, like it kind of helped me even when I became a coach. Is okay. No matter what, we're gonna have 11 people on the field. You want to transfer. We're gonna have 11 people. We're still gonna play a game. We're gonna win or lose without you. So that kind of always stuck with me. And in high school, actually, is when I became like kind of like infatuated with Inky Johnson.
Okay, I know Inky. Okay,
Inky, man. During I remember watching his motivational videos. I played it for my team. Like he has very good like aspects and words that like I carry with me through life. Control the controllables. Things are gonna happen, but how do you react to it? How do you deal with it?
Commitment.
Yeah, commitment. All of that, man. Loyalty. Things could change for him. It changed in a blink of an eye, but he didn't let it get to him, and he
got paralyzed.
And going from an NFL draft pick.
Yeah.
Paralyzed.
Yeah, man.
And for him to have that outlook on life still is amazing.
Yeah. So
through him and just through life too, I always like kind of grew my faith and like understanding that whatever may happen, but it's all about how you deal with it and moving forward. So yeah, back to Coral Reef, man. Sophomore, junior, senior year, had 100 tackles each year. I really felt like I was a student of the game. My best attribute I'll definitely say is that like I study an offensive scheme from start to end.
Right.
First down, draw their formation. If number 4 is at wing and number 2 is at wide receiver, and number 2 comes in motion, what play is it? I have it drawn down. On third down and 5, what do they normally run? On third and long, what do they normally run?
You break film down.
So I break it down to the position, to the formation, to who's where, who's doing a motion. And honestly, having 4 different head coaches was tough, but good at the same time because I got to learn from 4 different defensive minds as a linebacker. And I think it was my sophomore year or junior year. I think it was my sophomore spring season, but junior year that one of my coaches taught me how to read like a guard and tackle, especially playing middle linebacker.
Oh, you got to pull that guard pull.
If the guard pulls, then you go left. If they both go down, you go around. If they're open, it's there. So that changed the game.
Yeah, you gotta learn, man. But like you say, your coach had to teach you because if you never get taught that, you're just at linebacker like a bat in the hill, just running around, not really reading your keys.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And some people they don't learn that, and you could tell a big difference. Like I see it so many times. I see 5 stars local here from South Florida that don't know how to read, and that's why they never pan out.
It's crazy that you said that, man. When I was in high school, so I went to 2 high schools, and coaching matters. I went to South Miami Senior High my freshman year. I played middle linebacker. I didn't know how to read a coverage. I didn't know about cover 2 and cover 3. I just knew the quarterback says down, say up. I'm looking, I back up. I'm just reading the quarterback, looking to see who's coming. When I got to Gulliver, they really taught me how to read covers. We're like, okay, you're going to have 2 receivers here. Cover 2 means that you have hooked the curl. Meaning, if that slot receiver go to the flat, you let him go to the flat because someone's out there. You're looking to see who's coming to you. And whichever guy comes to you, that's the guy you have. I didn't learn that when I was at South Miami. So I just wanted to piggyback off that where, like, coaching really does matter.
It really does.
And it makes the game easier for you. It slows the game down. We're like, okay, well, I know I don't have to look at the quarterback. I just have to look to see who's coming, who's a threat to me, who's the nearest guy coming to me. So you're right.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. I'm telling you, without coaching, you can't learn because you learn what's given to you.
Right.
Unless you go out. I mean, now there's like YouTube and social media where you kind of figure things out yourself. But coaches play a pivotal part in what you learn as an athlete.
I agree.
And you could have the best talent.
Yes.
You could let your skill be the best for you. You could be the best hitter. You could be the best tackler. You got the speed. But if you're not smart, and you don't know how to read an offense, or you don't know how to read a defense, or you don't know schemes, you just don't pan out. And you see it. You see, there's been a bunch of like local, high-profile athletes, not even just here, but all over the U.S., never make it because they relied on their skill instead of grasping and learning from coaches and being able to take their skill to the next level.
I completely agree. Another thing, You've been around the game, man. You've been around the game. You played the game. You've been at different parks. I'm pretty sure you've been to every park and you know about every team, every coach on the sideline, every parent. How's the environment from when you played to now? Like, what's the big difference about the environment?
It's a huge difference, man. Back when I played, for instance, all these entrances and stuff like that, we never had that. We probably had like the Canes, smoke with the fire extinguisher.
Man, now I know you're seeing some crazy stuff now, man.
Now it's like a whole concert.
I already know, man. It's not even about the kids no more. The coaches make it about them.
Yeah, that was insane, man. It's the way youth football is now is honestly.
I feel like
it's insane.
They don't care about coaching, and I feel like with youth football, what I'm trying to do is that's why I branded myself as real coaching. It wasn't to make myself feel that I'm better than anybody else. Real coaching is to inspire other coaches to want to be a change, to impact kids as a role model. Like, it doesn't matter about wins and losses.
Yeah.
You went to Coral Reef, you didn't win a state championship, but that didn't mean that you lost in life.
Exactly.
That didn't mean that you were a failure because you didn't win a football game. I feel like in today's world, coaches put too much pressure on these kids about winning a football game. And I always tell people to define winning. A kid winning a football game or a kid winning their life. Because at the end of the day, that scoreboard is going to turn off. Yeah. And no one really cares after the next week if you won or lost a game. It's about what did you do? How did you impact that child? I always go back to me and my personal experience. I didn't have mom and dad growing up. I didn't. I only had my grandmother. But when I got to high school, I had a positive male role model, my high school coach. He taught me everything. He taught me how to be a man. He taught me how to read. He taught me how to talk to people. He taught me how to go by everyday life. And I feel like that was real coaching because he gave me tools that I can use outside the football field. Not just learning how to make a tackle, but learning how to go through life and really challenge myself and triumph through life. And I feel like other coaches should be doing that in the youth level. Like me as a coach at the park, so many kids don't have dads. I see myself in these kids, man. When I look these kids in their eyes, I remember myself walking to the park, man. First time playing football, my grandmother walking me out there. I didn't have mom and dad, but by the grace of God, somebody came and saved me, and there was a real coach.
Yeah.
So, what does real coaching mean to you? And who was that coach that impacted your life and changed your life?
For sure. Yeah, real coaching definitely means to me exactly like kind of what you mentioned, man. Like you mentioned, I've seen it too. A lot of these kids, they don't have their parents out there. These coaches, I mean, play that father figure. So a lot of these kids, a lot of them, and they gotta understand that these kids look at them like a father. Like it's not just one way. Like, hey, I'm your coach, this and that. Like, no, like these kids look at these coaches as like a father figure, somebody that they could talk to, somebody that they're playing for. Like they're going to war for them.
Right.
It's a family. It's a brotherhood. No matter what, like you step on that field, you're going to war for you. That's family. That's blood. So growing up, I had playing at Kendall Hammocks. I've had this core group of coaches. They kind of all stayed. It was like Coach Jose, Coach Bobby, Coach Lou, Coach Ross, Coach Charlie, and my dad. And there's probably more coaches, just off the top of my head, but that core group stuck together.
Right.
So I had the opportunity of playing under the same coaches from Pee-wees all the way until right before high school. And so it's different like how it is now. My team that I had stayed together throughout. We might have added like one or two players, but we're not adding a new player every year. We're not adding
whatever park you played on, you stayed on that park and you played.
Yes, that's how it was when I played. You had what you had, and that's who you went to war with. That's
right,
it.
Right.
And that was your brotherhood. That was your familyhood.
Nowadays, you got commitments from everywhere, huh?
Yeah,
you got kids
crazy.
traveling an hour away just for a tackle football team, man. We're like, is it that serious now? We're like, it doesn't even matter at this age if you win or lose. It's just all about developmental purposes. It really does not matter. If you win a Super Bowl right now at 6 or 10 or 11, yes, it's great, but what do you get? What are you getting? As me as a coach, if I win or lose a game on a park, I'm not. What? You don't get paid millions of dollars doing this. I'm volunteering my time, giving back to the youth, and I've seen like coaches will go above and beyond to try to get all these coaches, man. They try to get all these players to try to see, okay, can I get this kid? Paying kids now? Like that's what youth football is about now. Like paying kids to want to play football, to want to play for my team. Like I don't think youth football is that big of a deal where you have to pay a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or even a teenager to come play football for you. And I feel like that's when they get older, their mind get corrupt, where they only care about money. They don't care about the game. What happened to you really loving the game of football? What happened to you really giving this thing all of you? So I completely agree with what you're saying.
No, yeah, like you said, man, that's nowadays it's completely different. That's something, honestly, that I didn't know until I started doing backyard again. Like I really did not know youth football changed like that.
It changed.
When I started seeing like youth players doing like commitment posts and stuff like that, I was like shocked. Like I like this wasn't like what I remembered. Like nothing was what like I remembered. It's
times is changing, man.
It's
like
a different day.
Even me, I got a 7U team now, and I had to start doing commitment posts because the trend is, and you got to keep up with the trend. Because if you don't do that now, and other teams are doing it, parents are gonna say, "Oh, well, that's flashy. I'm gonna go with what catches my eye." So it is trending now, where like the game has changed, man. Yeah. Like if you can't keep up with the uniforms and all that,
it's another thing.
You'll lose your whole program. Kids won't want to play for you.
Yeah, that's another thing, man. Everybody, like, honestly, that's pretty cool. Like, because to me, we didn't have like the breast cancer uniform.
I don't think I ever played with that either.
We didn't have a new uniform for playoffs or the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, So, like you said, it's the game is adapting, and I feel like college football has a big factor in it because
Yes.
it's going from college down to high school,
Yes.
down to youth,
Yes.
and you kind of see it where college got NIL now. Okay, now high school kids want it. Now youth players want it. They're doing commitment posts for high schoolers to college, or now youth players want it to another youth team or to a high school team.
Yeah.
So it kind of just all is trickling down and just changing.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, as a coach, you got to understand you have to adapt. And you try to stay as original and as real as you can, and that you could do through your coaching. But when it comes to social media, we live in a day and age that social media perception, all of that. I used to have somebody that told me that perception is reality. So what you might see is what viewers might see as the truth. I tell athletes all the time, hey, if you're getting killed, it's 40-0, you're losing the game. Ball out. When you make a huddle tape, they don't know the score.
I agree. No,
they don't even know if you're going against the second stringers.
Man, keep going hard.
Ball out.
I agree.
People they want to get down, they get mad you're losing, or they try to blame that they're on a losing team. Your highlight doesn't show the score. Your highlight doesn't show your team is 0-10. Ball out, and the coach is going to find you. No matter what. Ball out. We live in a day and age where social media is a thing now. Like you mentioned earlier, I do videos of kids. I see them blow up, and I hear those things. I hear that after I do a video of an athlete, coaches from other parks are reaching out, trying to get that athlete over there.
No, that's true. No, that's
they're using it as like a
that's completely true. So next thing I want to talk about is you're doing a great job with the camera. There may be viewers right now watching and want to get in the camera business. Any tips for them? What should they do?
Absolutely. So my number one tip is yes. If you see it from the NFL level to the college level to high school and even youth, you don't need a big old fancy camera. If you ask me anything about a camera, honestly, I don't know anything about a camera like ISO or how to adjust anything. I just happen to have a camera that I use, and I just put it in some sport mode, and I'll just film it off there. But the phone, honestly, is just as good. It's what I recommend is getting that twist of creativity when it comes to editing.
Do you edit that stuff off your phone?
Off my phone, off CapCut. So that's all. I get ideas on social media.
This is raw cut right here.
CapCut.
Guys, you're getting all the information that you need. You can finish.
Yeah. Edit off CapCut. I don't have a laptop that I download clips on and edit and do this or that. I go on YouTube. I screen record the music. I take it to CapCut. I export it. I release the clips, and I just kind of add that swagger, South Florida vibe to it, and just put it on beat. And that's it. Literally all from my phone.
Who is the biggest follower right now that follows you? Like somebody that follows you and you're just like, whoa, I can't believe this guy is following me.
SportsCenter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That had me shook.
So they really followed you. Have they reposted any of your things yet?
They've reposted remember the number 21 Christian McCaffrey from Florida City landed.
They reposted
that one. So that one had me shook. I'm telling you, usually these accounts they will ask, hey, can I use this clip, this and that? And I'll tell them, yeah, go ahead, all good. But they actually followed my account. So that one had me shook.
But did they reach out to you or no?
They had reached out. They messaged me, and then they asked to use that video, and they followed me. And when I looked at it, I was like, that's crazy. They have 40 million, only following 300, and I'm one of them.
Man.
So that's definitely...
So did that inspire you more to be like, you know what, man, I can do this? So was that the time where you felt like, I can do this? Yeah. I can really impact the world.
Yeah, that definitely kind of pushed me to the next level. Wow, I could actually be a funnel for these kids to, be first seen by SportsCenter. They follow the account. Anything I post is going to be on their feed. So if they like it, they might want to post it on their feed too. And I always tell all these accounts, yeah, go ahead. You could use any of these clips, any of these videos that I made. Because at the end of the day, it's giving these kids more exposure.
I agree.
And funny enough, one of the things that motivated me from going to the next level is I have filmed, all right, so 48.
Yes.
Right? All right, some backstory about it. And I won't name names, man, because, I'm not into any of that drama stuff.
Exactly.
All right. But I was the one that filmed that clip, and I had airdropped it to somebody else.
What made you airdrop it?
They had asked, man. You know, I'm not one of those people that's like.
But you didn't know it was gonna blow up.
I didn't know it was gonna blow up at the time.
But did they ask because of 48 or because of that touchdown?
Because of the touchdown. And then when they posted it, the comments started going crazy. And he had told me, he was like, hey, look, can you airdrop me this and that? I'll say it's yours, this and that. But then that person had ended up claiming it like it was theirs.
They get paid.
And Instagram doesn't pay and stuff like that. But like it's more of like
the cloud.
The cloud. They're like being fake cloud. So I was like, that pushed me to like the next gear. Like I think I made over 10,000 followers in the next like 2 weeks because I literally just went to the next level. I was like,
what did you do?
Like, I just started going crazy with content. Like it's tough, you know. I'm busy throughout the week.
Right.
On the one day that I get to go out there to these parks, like I started going from parks from 4 hours to now like 9 hours.
Wow.
And I'm taking like 3 portable chargers.
And I've seen you travel, man. I mean, we live down south. I see you way in Plantation, man. Broward, man. West Palm. Like, I've seen you at games. You came to one of my games. We played in Pembroke Pines. My game is at 8 a.m. So I know you had to get up about 6 o'clock, 7 to make it to the game. So I've seen you hit the road, man. And you even put my team on the map. I mean, when you posted my team about the hitting with Baby Ray Lewis and all that, I had so many people reach out to me, tagging me, like, oh my God, I didn't know your team was this good. I didn't know that they hit this hard. Like, so you really do a lot of great things in the community, man. Like, and you only do it by yourself? Do you have a partner or just you?
Yeah, so right now it's like, it's myself in the beginning.
I thought you had someone in the beginning, right?
Yeah, it's my boy, family, friend, you know, we grew up together. He'll come out with me. My brother will come out with me. I have other friends too that will come out with me. So for instance, Jordan, was the one that came with me. My brother Donovan. I had another friend David that'll pop out. My cousin Javi. But this past year has literally just been like just me, just like dogging it. Jordan came out a couple times to go like live on TikTok, you know, trying to add like a different thing. But now with Jordan, I'm making this thing called like the Flauta-Jits with him.
Okay.
Which is gonna be like a 12U 7-on-7 team, but like with that backyard twist. So you know it's gonna be.
So you're gonna do a 12U 7v7. Hey, parents, if you got a kid or the kids that's watching this, 11, 12-year-olds, 7-on-7, Florida boys, right?
The Flauta-Jits.
Oh, the Flauta-Jits. The Flauta-Jits. We're gonna be based out of.
So we got kids from all over.
All over.
So we already got a couple kids now.
We're gonna practice. You don't know the location yet?
We practice sometimes at 10 Miami Park.
So you already started practicing?
We had 2 meetups already. So
we had 2 meetups. How many kids showed up? Is it tryouts, open tryouts?
So we had open tryouts.
Okay.
So the first we had Columbus. So Columbus let us do a tryout their school. We had about like 15 kids show up. And then we had another practice this past Sunday.
Okay.
So I think like 6 more kids that didn't show up the first time showed up. So now we're kind of meshing the teams together, and it's kids from all over. Like.
And when are you gonna start? Like
we're planning for the first tournament to be by the end of January.
Okay.
So
and how many kids are you gonna keep on the roster?
Thinking about keeping around 20, but playing 16.
Okay.
So that's one thing about me. Like I can't tell a kid no.
I know, man.
That's one of my things. Like I'm big on like loyalty. So if you came out, I give every kid the opportunity to come out every single time we practice and earn a spot.
Okay.
So that's the kind of way that I think I'm about to go about it because, like, I'm big, you know, on loyalty and these kids coming out. Hey, look, every day you come out, you can fight for your chance to play.
2025, man, a lot of blessings, a lot of great things are going on. You know, Backyard Athletics is starting their own 7-on-7 team, travel team, 12U, Flauta-Jits. It's going to be a great one, man. You know, he's having trials. Are you having another trial, or are you done with the trials?
I think we might be done at this point, yeah.
Done with the trials, man. How many coaches do you have?
We have about, I think so far as like 4 total, including myself.
Okay. Are you going to be coaching the offense or the defense?
Definitely the offense.
Okay.
So like growing up, especially like I playing flag and 7-on-7, I would always play quarterback. So I kind of have like that quarterback mindset, the play mindset, the calling. Like I feel like I know how to dissect the defense because I play defense.
Right.
So definitely, I think we're gonna do very good when it comes to the offense. We got some good quarterbacks on the team, so it's definitely just now piecing it together to just be able to dominate, man.
Right.
This is the opportunity for me to get back into the coaching.
Yeah.
Have a specific group that I can get to, invest my time and invest my, knowledge into them, and hopefully, put something good together. Right, like you said earlier, man. At the end of the day, that's another thing, and this is the most important thing too. Is with this team, this is like a team that you got to be committed to.
Okay.
Like this ain't like tackle football. These kids flip flop, and even on 7-on-7, these kids flip flop. But not with my team.
So, what is your goal with this team? What are you trying to do?
So I don't know if you might not know, but maybe some viewers might not know. There's a group called the Five Stars.
Okay.
They're from Arizona. This guy AJ Green, he does like a lot of mic up videos with them in the game. So my goal with them is not to just do mic ups on the field, but mic ups at the crib, mic ups in the hood, go play ball, go bowling together, go to Sky Zone together, let's go to the beach together. Like I want to give the world the mindset of like what it is to be a Flutterjet.
Okay.
Like what it is to grow up in South Florida playing football, because people see it all over the NFL. People saw it today with J.J. Smith balling out in the Ohio State game, but people don't know deep down where it's from. And a lot of these kids come from literally the transfers, like some neighborhoods that have homicides every other week. Like it's a difficult upbringing for a lot of these kids, man. So I want to, help these kids understand that there's different ways, different avenues to see their life, and using their talent and use their character to be able to broadcast it across the world.
Man, hey, listen, that's amazing, man. That's a blessing, man, and that's what it's about. That's what real coaching is about, and we need more real coaches in the world, man. Kids that really care, coaches that really care about the kids, that really want to see the betterment of kids, really want to enrich kids, really want to develop them, not just by boys, but turning young men, So I appreciate that, man. I tip my head out because I was once one of those kids. You was once one of those kids. You once had a dream and a goal to make it somewhere in life. Not if it just was just football, but you just wanted to be somebody, And I feel like as coaches, as us being coaches, we got the key to these kids' future. All the kid needs is someone to tell them they believe in you. Look in their eyes and say, son, I believe in you. Son, you're gonna be somebody in life. Son, you're gonna be better than me. And we need more of that, man. So I respect you for doing that. I respect you for the camera. I respect you for putting these kids in other sceneries, man, putting them on the internet, man. These kids can really go home, go on YouTube and see themselves on the internet. Or go on their phone, go on Instagram and see themselves on the internet. Sometimes mommy and daddy can't make it to the game. Mommy and daddy is working, trying so they can pay the bills, so they can put food on the table for their babies, and they can go on Instagram and see Backyard Athletics. They can go on Instagram to see Backyard Athletics where their son just made a touchdown. They baby just made a tackle. They baby just won a game. They baby in uniform, so they can show their coworkers and they boss, look at my baby. That really does make parents proud sometimes, just being able to go on their phone to see their child. So you're doing a great job of just bringing all these kids' dreams to reality, And again, man, I appreciate what you do for the community. I really do. And that's one of the reasons why I brought you on here, because I seen your grind. I seen your humble beginning. I seen when you first started. I see your path. I see where you're going. I see how high your numbers are going up, and you're still reachable. You're still tangible. You're not one of those type of guys where like, okay, I got over 10K followers, man. I ain't gonna talk to nobody. If somebody inbox you right now, you're gonna reach back out to them. I sent you some videos of some kids, man. Listen, man, I think this is a cool video of my kids who want a touchdown doing the trip out. You made a trip out video of those kids right away. So I appreciate you for the communication, man, and responding back immediately, man, and doing whatever you got to do to put these kids on the map, to put Florida kids on the map, to put South Florida kids on the map, to put a Florida coach like me on the map. There's times when you posted my coaching. I mean, you saw me at different schools and stuff like, Coach, I see you doing a great job, man. I'm coming to come check you out. You videoed some of my pregame speeches for me, man, and sent it to my phone, So thank you for being a support system, not just for me, but just for the whole community, man. I appreciate that, man.
Absolutely,
yes,
man.
sir.
Anytime.
Appreciate you. Thank you to a big brother of mine, Thank you, Antrell Rowe, for being able to support me and to support this movement, what I'm doing, this positive movement that I'm doing for the kids, for the world, man, to bring positive people inside the environment, man, where they're doing a lot of great things to impact kids, man. And I want to be able to showcase that to the world where it can encourage other people to want to be able to do these type of things. If you feel like you have a story that you want to share that's impactful, that can be able to impact the world, if you're doing anything to better the world, to better kids, to make somebody else's lives better, I encourage you to reach out to me, man. This platform is only for people that's making a positive impact in this world. It's only for people that are making a positive change in this world. We only promote positivity over here, man. Ro, thank you so much for everything, man. Real Coaching Podcast, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share. This is the new beginning, man. This is the new beginning. I'm telling you guys, we going places.